This presentation will cover the topic of two-way radios in U.S. history by Jessica Richards. Two-way radios were an American innovation that changed the history of warfare and U.S. lifestyle. The setting of the radio's birth. As with many technologies, two-way radios, or commonly called walkie-talkies, have developed and became vastly different over the years, improving and better meeting the demands of its users. The first two forms of two-way communication have been around from as early as 1907, when the milestone of achieving the first transatlantic telegraphic communication for military and commercial means occurred. But it wasn't until 1923 that the first true mobile two-way radio was made, and in 1924, the first real two-way radio made an appearance when Bell Labs announced the first two-way voice-based radio system. Two-way radios used in both World Wars were one of the U.S.'s most significant contributions to the wars in terms of technology. Al Gross. The development of the two-way radio was just a small dot on the larger scale of long-distance communication. Though Al Gross was the one credited with the invention of the two-way radio, or walkie-talkie, in 1938, many more before him helped set the path that allowed him to create this device. For example, Heinrich Hertz's discovery proved it was indeed possible to send and receive electrical waves without using wires. And this is a picture of Al Gross. Mobile radio at work. As previously mentioned, the two-way radio played a notable role in both world wars. The new form of technology was extremely useful for a variety of military tasks. Whereas now we can call people up for the most trivial things, back then it was a big deal that commanders could communicate with each other to organize, for example, aircraft landings on a naval base. Also, the wireless, as early radios were sometimes called, quickly proved valuable to wartime efforts. Radio operators with portable transmitters, for instance, were able to warn soldiers of an attack of poisonous gas, giving them time to don their gas masks in World War II. Two-way radios were also used in police department affairs in a similar nature as they are used today. The two-way radio's influence on U.S. culture. The appearance and evolution of the radio aided in the globalization of the developed countries. Trade was made easier, contact between countries in war times became more efficient, and today, we can practically contact anyone on the globe with the snazzy high-tech cell phones the two-way radio has progressed into, all because of the increased communication of globalization. In modern day, we take long-distance communication immensely for granted, with our handy-dandy iPhones and all. But back in the early 1900s, this was a huge deal, and it changed American lifestyle slowly into what it is today. Just getting their hands on a two-way radio was satisfying enough for people then, but now it is a dependence on the release of the next iPhone and frustration for when one's contract will be up. The transformation into the cell phone from the walkie-talkie. Nearly a century later, we have made long-distance communications to be an icon of modern culture. Currently, methods of communication have engulfed our society in a social war. Who can get their hands on the newest and coolest iPhone? Brand, model, color, storage? These are the things now associated with our cell phones, not actually communicating. Perhaps, if we traveled back in time to the two-way radio, we would actually communicate with each other, which, after all, was the intended purpose of the invention. And to conclude this video, here are my references.